the particulates can settle to the bottom.
Cheryl Lester looks down at a cavernous cement trough. The pulleys and chains inside the channel are part of a complicated system that works to filter impurities out of sewage water.
And then you see the troughs where the water is able then to move over into a filtration component. And on this side, you'll see it actually in action, where the water is then going through these little weirs.
The resulting so-called purple water is clean enough to use on lawns, but not clean enough to drink. But building pipes that carry the recycled purple water is expensive, so the facility only sells about half the water it's capable of making. But that could change if there's money to further develop water treatment projects like these. The water bond could fund an expansion of this project in the northern part of the city, which takes recycled water and cleans it enough to become drinking water. Proposition 1 could help because the bond measure sets aside about $2 billion for water treatment projects. There's roughly $2.8 billion for watershed, groundwater, and flood management, and $2.7 billion for new water storage. That is significantly less money than lawmakers initially approved. Bond measures passed by lawmakers in the last 5 years were never considered by voters because supporters were worried they wouldn't pass. California Assembly Speaker Tony Atkins worked with top state officials to pare down this bond.
You know, $7.5 billion doesn't go as far as we would hope it would go for our infrastructure, but is it a critical start to doing what we need to do to make sure that we're going to be able to have the water we need throughout the state. So I feel pretty good about it, and I have to say, I think my colleagues do too.
That's because the bond got unanimous support in the state Senate and fell just 2 votes shy of the same in the Assembly. California's ongoing 4-year drought is amplifying the drumbeat for action.
With the worst drought on record, we've seen devastation across California. Our reservoirs way down, land where there used to be water.
California Governor Jerry Brown is using his own re-election funds to persuade voters to back Prop 1. Politicians, business and labor groups, and water agencies like the San Diego County Water Authority populate the list of supporters. The authority's Dennis Cushman says the bond money will develop critical water resources.
There'll be a catalyst to get projects going sooner and faster, and we need those projects going right now to deal not only with our long-term water supply needs as a region here in San Diego, as in California, but also to make our region and state more resilient to droughts.
But there are plenty of people who don't like the bond, people fighting over the future of the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta. Environmentalists and political advocates are speaking out against the measure. They say the bond is full of pork barrel spending that will do little to help ease the current drought. A No on Prop 1 ad shows viewers a barren hillside above a shrinking reservoir. The ad says school funding will suffer while large corporate agricultural interests cash in. Marco Gonzalez works with the Coastal Environmental Rights Foundation, a group opposing the bond. He says too much of the money gets spent up north.
It doesn't give us what we need down here in San Diego at the end of the pipe in terms of long-term water supply benefits.
Gonzalez says Prop 1 money would fund the kinds of projects that have already left California unprepared for the current drought. He says lawmakers need to stop passing bond measures that are designed to win political support, but do little to fix problems.
We need a fix for communities like San Diego, which with big multi-billion-dollar problems dealing with their water infrastructure. What we don't need are these little $5 to $10 million projects that make someone happy but don't give us new water.
If voters decide to back the measure, the state would borrow the $7.5 billion, then repay it out of the general fund over 40 years. The total repayment cost is more than $14 billion. Erik Anderson, KPBS News.